We have 3 DPS.
That is much better.
Don't despawn me, help. Nice, thank you. Let's go, let's go. Nice ult.
Oh, nice ult, no more.
Nice, nice, very nice.
The clicks are great. They're snappy. You have quite a bit of customization for how they should feel, how deliberate you want them to be, how hair trigger they should be. And given that this is the main selling point of the mouse and the marketing, it delivers. The answer is yes to both. Noticeably faster because if you set them to the minimum actuation point, the millisecond you put any amount of pressure in from your fingers, you are then activating the switch. So for games with ADS, it's almost like you have a insta lock on, and the effect can be a bit spooky. They have the slightest bit of friendly mush that would be in line with any other good mouse. Not quite as crispy as the crispiest, but nothing to complain about. The skates seem massively improved, and I have not had any thoughts about changing them. The new tech is intuitive. There's no real learning curve. And straight out of the box, you're going to be able to use it and enjoy it and be a little bit wowed by how well it works. It's fairly similar to the original GPX, with maybe a little bit more grip, a little bit more of a chalk-like feeling, but you definitely don't have any issues with it not feeling locked into your hand. The software is good enough that between lives in a game with a 10-second respawn, you can go in, change the fine-tuning of your actuation points and haptic feedback, and before you respawn, have it set to what you want, which is all that the software needs to be. I think there are some subtle differences in the curves and some fine tunings with the shape, but for all intents and purposes, it is the exact same potato-shaped mouse. I did the Diamond Lobby review scroll wheel test for this mouse, and it seems to be the first one to break the cycle. Yes. I pre-ordered it, paid full price, and just got lucky. It is a potato-shaped tank. Zero creak, incredibly solid. You could throw it at a wall a few times. I think it's going to be fine. No idea. Yes. As much as a mouse can be revelatory, yes. This pretty much opens the door for two other avenues of marketing, and one would be the haptic feedback, which is a huge marketing avenue for companies to go down that doesn't cater to just professionals, but to enthusiasts, casual gamers. There's a lot that can be done with it, such as much stronger haptics, much more detailed haptics. It's definitely something that can be created and marketed towards any kind of person. And of course, the main avenue that we're going to see first is that this is the new way to get the fastest, most responsive clicks. Because I have the haptic inductive trigger system on this mouse. The haptic inductive trigger system, depending on how far you click down or you press your finger down, it can tell exactly how far it's been pressed. and there's no, it's not a click, it's like haptic feedback. You'd be surprised how not useless it is. It means you can set, like, you can click when you just like barely touch it, like a hair trigger, or you can press deep and then it'll click. And also you can change it to have different amounts of why are people banning Phoenix? Oh yeah, and then also the haptic feedback. So instead of it being a click, like you can make it like a strong vibration. You can make it like a really soft one. I've been using this since I got it last week, and the battery, I've not had to charge it. Yeah, I've been using it for a week and I haven't had to charge it once. I think the battery is at like 30%. It's surprising good glide. It's really the mouse of a grandmaster player. Yeah. The first thing I did when I got the Superstrike and loaded up the software was set the actuation point to the absolute minimum and the haptic feedback to the maximum. And it does not feel good, which was a little bit disappointing because I think the haptic feedback is cool, but the main benefit should be the reduced actuation point. But it really doesn't feel natural. And I don't think that it should. But having that much feedback with that much of a hair trigger is not very good for your aim. So I tuned it down, or by keeping it in the minimum actuation point and the minimum haptic feedback. And immediately, at least for myself, I found it had a massive effect on my aim and particularly my tracking. Because of the amount of tension I was removing from my index finger. Not only that, I struggle quite a bit with tension management, and having basically just the squeeze between my thumb and my pinky be the focus of all the tension in my hands, and the index finger is just there to very, very gently press down. I found my tracking was immediately improved by this much, much lighter sort of soft glide experience. The other thing I really like that I'm able to do is set the actuation point on my right click to the maximum. When I am managing my tension poorly, I'm going to have twitches in my fingers. And if you had both triggers at a minimum actuation point, you're going to get a lot of accidental clicks with your right click, or at least I am. Having it set to the maximum completely stopped any accidental clicks from happening, which has been really, really useful in games like Overwatch or hero shooters where your right click is tied to an ability. I think that's one of the main things people have been asking about is it actually noticeable? And the good thing is that it is, since it is such an immediate response pretty much the moment you're thinking about doing something, because it's the slightest touch to make to ADS to fire. And it gives a really snappy feeling. There's going to be a lot of reviews and in-depth breakdowns, and this is more just early thoughts to show that it's not a disappointment. I think people are going to be really happy with this.
The Hero 2 sensor is capable of tracking at speeds over 888 inches per second, tracking at over 88 Gs of acceleration, so well beyond like human turning into jelly kind of, acceleration.